So, the question is, do we trust Hammond to balance our Brexit books? Was yesterday's U-Turn a show of strength, proof the man had the guts to listen, the guts to change his mind, as one Tory bootlicker claimed? What do you reckon, Dawn?
Well, do you know, actually...
61% of viewers think he should go.
Yeah, but let's just go back to the U-Turn thing. I think, you know, slightly, as a politician, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So if you don't listen to the public and you don't stick to your manifesto, then you are rigid and criticised for that. And if you go, actually, I got that wrong, you're criticised again. And I would have a great deal more respect for all politicians if they would occasionally say, we might have totally different politics, but you know what? You did the decent thing there. You did the right thing. You stood by
we
your
were told
manifesto.
Repeatedly, particularly in the Tory press, in the weeks running up to the election, that Spreadsheet Phil was the guy who looked for every disadvantage rather than advantage, a man who fixated on the problems rather than the solutions. Right? And at the end of the day, that I would suggest the central part of his budget, which was the NI rise, because all the other stuff was education budgets and so forth, the principle of his entire budget was one massive cock-up.
Well, he does need to come out and tell us how he's going to make that money that he
yes, he does.
isn't going to get. So, yes, I get that.
Do you trust him to balance the books through Brexit?
I actually have greater respect for him for having put his hand up and said, I got that wrong.
Even though he was told to put his hand up by Theresa May. You respect him
I respect him for saying, mea culpa, I did it wrong. What I'm interested...
Do you think they'll be saying that when, let's say, God forbid, the doom-mongers are right and Brexit turns into a disaster? Do you think they'll all line up and say, well, we got it wrong, I'm sorry? I
think there's going to be an awful lot of very, very wishy-washy statements coming out, which none of us can really make head or tail of about Brexit when they're just trying to cover up what is going on. The thing that worries me about all this is what is the team in the Treasury? What's the team behind him? When Osborne went, did a load of Osborne's really experienced team go with him? I mean, who was the naive person who came up with this idea? I mean, was Hammond...
Well, there are eminent financial think tanks that argue what Phillip Hammond did was right.
Yeah,
and they say that the media misrepresented the full extent of the NIC hike, and that actually there are going to be very wealthy people who are on freelance contracts that are going to be much better off as a result of this U-turn, whereas actually those at the very bottom of the earnings scale weren't going to suffer at all under the original proposal.
I think the thing for the media was the fact he contradicted the manifesto. Yes. And was he aware of that? Did he even know? And if he did, you know, that's the question for me. Did somebody, one of his bean counters behind him, say, this is a great idea and actually this needs to happen? Well, and nobody actually highlighted to him, hang on, this wasn't, that you are contradicting the manifesto. Did Theresa May know? I mean, that's the question to me is, were they even aware that they were going against their manifesto? Until, I think it was said, BBC's Laura Kuenssberg came up with it. And you think, how can they be that naive?
It's that level of incompetence. So when they're going into these negotiations with the EU, I mean, it's going to be like sending Coco the clown in, isn't it?
Right, well, that's just a bit like... I think he is damaged.
You know, you think if they can't deal with this, how on earth are they going to deal with the complex matters of sorting us out?
Yeah, and this, of course, once we leave the European Union, these are the people that we will rely on to make all our important decisions. And if we change our mind on every important decision within 1 week of making it, heaven help us. Do feel free to comment and give us a thumbs up if you feel inclined. For more clips from the show and exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, click here. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button here to be automatically informed when new videos are available. Links to our other social media platforms can be found in the description. Thanks for watching.